Guys, I'm Jeff the Homestead Dad, and welcome to the Homestead. It is late morning, it is hot and it is humid, but we've got to get some work done. We're having somebody come over tomorrow to do a project that would take us longer to do ourselves, so we're hiring somebody else to do it. You guys probably can't see this, but there's some goldfinches out on the thistle plants out there. The chickens think I'm feeding them. I am not. But I need to move some stuff that's between the barn and the animal enclosures, the chicken coop, the pig pen, and then I also need to move the meat birds. So I'm not going to tell you what it is that I'm doing just yet. I'm going to let you guys think about it for a second and guess. In the meantime, let's go ahead and start moving some stuff. Okay guys, I did a little bit of work. You saw a little bit of it. Now I've got the baby out here. Can you say hi? Not really. He's looking at himself in the camera. So I cleaned up between here and the chicken coop. I moved some stuff over here. You can see the outlet right there. That's a hint as to what we're doing. And then we moved the chicken tractors over there. And we're getting all the stuff out from along the fence line. So leave a comment. It's really windy. I don't know if you guys can be able to hear me. Leave a comment below if you think you know what we're doing. Jacob's gonna be doing a little bit more. You can see he's moving that board right there. He's gonna be moving some panels over there and cutting the grass down short. So what we're doing is we're gonna dig a water line and some power too. So our well is right here. We've got a hydrant here, which we're going to replace because it got bent in the past, and then we'll just keep it as an extra one. So we're going to replace this well. We're going to dig a trench between the well and the chicken coop. We're going to stop shy of the chicken coop, and then we're going to go straight down the fence line. At that wooden post over there, we're going to add another hydrant and an outlet, and then we're going to go down to the high tunnel, and inside the high tunnel, we're going to add a hydrant and an electric outlet. And then from there, where the chicken coop is, we're going to take another arm over there to the pig pen, and we're going to put another hydrant and an outlet at the pig pen. I hope you guys can hear me. So that in the winter, we have frost-free hydrants that we can use to fill up water, and we have outlets that we can run the water heaters on so that we have liquid water for all of our animals in the winter. It will make life so much easier. So in order to do that, we had first talked about renting a trencher, one of like the Ditch Witch trenchers. But Home Depot is the only one that had one that was 48 inches, and we're gonna go down 42. That's what the frost line is in Michigan. And they wouldn't let you reserve it. You just had to call, and if it wasn't available, you didn't get it. So good luck planning your project. So we called the company that did our septic system. They had done a trench for us between our barn and the house when we ran our own power, water, gas. They just brought over a mini excavator. So that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna bring a little mini excavator over, and in they think between 4 and 6 hours, they'll have the trench dug. We're gonna be out of town this weekend. By the time you see this, it will be last weekend. We're going to be out of town. So the trench is going to be open for a bit, so I hope no chickens get stuck in it. But if they do, such is life, they'll be fine. And then we're going to run the water line and the electric and get everything hooked up. And then we'll backfill it ourselves using the tractor and the bucket. And next week, you can see I'm just pouring sweat. It's like 95 degrees and 100% humidity. Next week, the temperatures are supposed to be in the mid 70s and almost no humidity, so it'll be the perfect time to do this. So I'd rather not have the trenches open while we're gone, but that's when they were able to sneak us in. They're really busy. They just happen to have a little bit of an opening. What do you see, bud? You see the birds? Nakey baby, we should get you inside. So that's what we're doing. I will probably, wind this into when we come back and we're laying the line. So I'll see you guys then. Good morning, guys. So it is the next day. It is Friday, and I don't know if you can hear that, but we've got a mini excavator working on the property. So he's got a 24-inch bucket on there, and he's starting down there. He's going to dig down and then hopefully be able to get like almost just underneath, so that all I got to do is punch it out with a shovel for that one, and then he's going to work his way back this way and get this whole trench done. So hopefully, with any luck, it goes really, really quickly, and it doesn't cost us very much, and it saves us a bunch of time and money, and yay. Oh, and by the way, it poured rain last night. I don't know if you guys can tell because the puddles have kind of sunk in, but there's puddles back there. We got over an inch of rain last night. I woke up at, I think it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and was just praying for the animals. I mean, it was pouring and blowing. But we needed the rain, so come over here and look at the driveway. You can tell. I wanted to take some drone video of him. You can see the driveway's all a mess, and back at the end of the driveway is his trailer. I wanted to take some drone video of him digging, but the rain keeps on popping up out of nowhere, and I'd really rather not mess up the drone. So we'll see. Maybe I can get some later, or I'll take some when we get back of the drone, or of the trench and all that stuff. So that's the plan. So he's just gotten started, you can see, and he's going to go about 4 feet down. Told him 42 inches would be perfect. I don't know if there's measurement marks on that. Obviously, if you're an operator, you know how it works. But you can see the animals don't seem to care much, and they're obviously not going down there. But yeah, pretty cool. Okay, guys. So it has in fact been pouring rain. In fact, thunder and lightning all over the place. You can hear it's been pouring. This is the side yard. It's squishy. The dirt along here has kind of kept the rain from getting into the trench too much, but the trench is still going to be wet. You can see it's kind of like created a barrier for all of this rain to go this way. And right here it's just sticking because it doesn't have a place to go. So you can see it's wet down here in the trench. It's going to have to dry out, but it is what it is. The good news is we'll have a couple days. I think I've got a small submersible pump. Yeah, it's wet for sure. You can see it down there. So, and then he dug a little hole down there where it's going to be. Over here, I haven't even seen this yet. Let's come over here, see if we can do this without stepping on any watermelons, because I haven't been weeding, so I can't see them. Yeah, look. So he's able to get underneath there. So all we'll have to do is knock it out. This is full of water. May have to grab like a sump pump and some hose to empty this, just so it'll dry out faster, because if we wait for it, it'll take forever. Good news is, after today, there's not a whole lot of rain in the forecast. I'm gonna turn the camera around so you guys can see me hear that thunder and lightning, or you hear the thunder, can't see the lightning. But he's working on the trench from the hydrant to the chicken coop. Then he's just got one little bit more to go over to the pig pen, and then he's done. So yeah, wet in here, which has been kind of good because it's kept it from getting wet in there, but still wet. It's fallen in a couple places, but most of the way down it's clay. You can see, like, so there's a little bit of topsoil down to about there, and then from there down it's clay. So it should hold its shape pretty well. And then we'll bring the tractor along here, and we can backfill this when we put the water line in and stuff. He's already dug up around the trench. I'll show you that later. I don't want to get in his way. You can see the chickens look like wet chickens, which is to say they look ugly. So yeah, fun times. Hey guys, it is Monday morning. My dad is on his way from the cottage, where if you guys watched the last video, that's where we spent the weekend. Scout, back in the house. Get in the house. You can see, I think you can see, there's water all the way from down there to down here. I'm gonna go grab the pump so that we can drain this out, and gotta run some extension cords in order to do that. So let's get after it. Okay guys, so in order to pump the water out of the trench, which looks actually pretty, it looks like it might be 3 feet deep down towards the high tunnel, I had my wife pick up this Drummond submersible utility pump from Harbor Freight. It is 1,600 gallons per hour. It has a hose attachment, so we're gonna go ahead, run an extension cord down, attach a hose to this, drop this in the trench, and start pumping the water out down into the drainage swale, so that we're not working underwater, because that wouldn't be much fun at all. Okay, so Jacob was able to get the extension cords all the way down there. I found a scrap piece of hose that's gonna be plenty long enough to get the water away from where we want it. So we're gonna go ahead, take this down there, and get it started. Okay, I'm in the high tunnel. You can see the trench comes all the way here. I'm just gonna have to knock out a little bit of dirt here, and we'll be in the trench. I've got the pump right there, and the hose goes all the way down there, so it'll drain off that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop this in here and turn it on, and hopefully we start draining this trench out. Turning it on. I hear it running. Yeah, go see if there's water coming out, bud. So it's definitely running down here.
Yep, there's dirty water.
There's water coming out? Sweet. Okay, so water's being pumped out of here. Let's go see how much water. And see, some of this is washed away because it was raining so much, and this is where he started. Cool. Yeah, that's a good flow. So that's a good flow of water.
We could use that as a hose.
We could. We'll just let this drain off that way. You can see our drainage swale is right there. It'll drain back into the marsh. Life will be good. So hopefully this works quickly. 1,600 gallons per hour. I have no idea how many gallons are in here, but it is, for those of you who are interested, it is 934. I should be able to leave the pump right here because this is by far the lowest spot in the trench. So all of the water has kind of drained this way and will continue to drain this way. So
Daddy,
that's the plan. You can see something fell in right there, and it looks like some of this got undercut, which is not great. So it means we might have to hand dig. There's also, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a frog right over there.
the dead one.
Anyway, no, there's a live frog there. So
The dead one.
we're gonna let this drain out. We'll see how it goes.
Dead.
So you can see all of the animals survived just fine. I think the kid said one of the ducklings ended up in the trench. Yeah, it's a little bit wet over here. May have to bring the pump over here to drain this out quick. You guys can see that it's wet right there. Jacob put this here, which is fine for the animals, but if a person steps on this, it's gonna break. This is a 2x12, which I can stand on and get across. That, yeah, I'm wondering if I shouldn't drain that first, so we can come over here and work on this. You can see there's a little bit of water here. I'm not so worried about this because we're not going to be working right here. Like we're just going to be laying the pipe there and then backfilling. Oh, the ducklings are back in the trench, which is fine. They're swimming. This is shallower because this is just going to be power, not water. we may need to empty this too. So you can see it drains all the way down there. Animals are like, what's going on? How come we got a big old moat? Good mama, you stay with your ducklings. Momentarily, I have brought the pump over here by the pig pen. We're gonna empty this out. You guys can probably see there's water over here. It's kind of flowing through that little choke point right there, and I've just got the hose going off that way into the pasture. Then I'll probably take it over here where the ducks are and where it is over by the chicken coop and get that stuff as dried out as possible. So we're not, I mean, it'll still be muddy, but at least we won't be playing in the water. Okay, I had to go in and change a poopy diaper. So Jacob made sure that this got drained. That's about as shallow as we can drain it without burning out the pump. And then he's moved the pump over here. We're gonna drain out this area from about here to over there. Shouldn't take too long. You can see it's already starting to come off the edges there. Once that's done, we'll drop the pump into here, drain this area out, and then we'll take it back down and put it back over by the high tunnel. Okay, well, the one thing about those utility pumps is they suck from the bottom. So if it's not a cement, basement or a hard tarp, I mean, even a tarp would get sucked into it. So I don't know if you can tell, I put a piece of aluminum roofing down there to try to keep it up off the mud because it was starting to suck. You can see it's just muddy right in here. So that's as much as I could suck out there. I even put a piece of window screen around it to try to keep, because there's some floating debris and wood chips and plants in there that just kept on getting sucked into the little sides on the bottom. So that's as good as that's going to get. Over there is pretty good. And then you can see we still have water down over there. I took the pump back over there. I'll keep checking it every so often just to make sure that it's actually pumping water out. I let it run before I moved it over here. It ran for about an hour and it drained out about 3 inches of water. The problem is over there's like right by the high tunnel, there's probably 2 feet of water. So by my calculation, 24 inches divided by 3 is 8 hours. So it may take 8 hours, which would be 7 o'clock tonight by the time it was done. If we could get this stuff done and the hydrant in the middle done by this evening and just have to do that tomorrow after it drains out, that'd be great. So we'll see what happens. It's not supposed to rain for the next few days. It's supposed to be in the mid to upper 70s, maybe even 80, and with a little breeze, which is right now, so it's really comfortable to work. It's also helping dry it out. But you guys can tell I've got clay, and clay doesn't dry very well. It's not like it's soaking into the ground, it's just having to evaporate. So it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Homestead Papa's here, and he's going to take Jacob and Josh. They're going to go grab some fittings that we need. We're going to use these plastic PVC fittings, but now we're thinking for durability we'll use the brass fittings. So they're going to run to Menards or Home Depot, grab some brass fittings, and also grab some pea gravel, because there's supposed to be a basin of gravel underneath the hydrant for it to drain into. That's why these are frost-free hydrants. You bury them down below the frost line, and then the water drains out of the hose down into a reservoir below the frost line that can then seep into the ground. They didn't do that. They just used a piece of well casing. So in all the spots where we're going to put a hydrant over here and over there and over there, we need to put, 1.5 feet of pea gravel so that it has someplace to drain to. So it's been a couple more hours. The water is definitely receding. It's down further this way. I would say it's probably down a foot. In fact, I've had to dig out a little bit here because where this stuff fell in, it kind of created a dam. I'm hoping we don't have to do too much digging by hand there in order to get down to the 42-inch depth that we need to be below the frost line. But I wanted to show you, let me turn the camera around and I can show you where we're at and how far we've gone down. See the froggy? So you can see, let's see, I can tell, there's where the line started and now it's down to there. It's about a foot down, I think. So that's good. We're still pumping out a bunch of water, as you guys could see. Frogs are still enjoying their little pond. You can see there's another frog floating over there. But like I said, where it fell in here, I'm hoping we can just run the water and the power on this side. Power's not gonna be a big deal because we're gonna have to backfill for the water, but I'm hoping we don't have to hand dig. We'll see what happens. I had to go in and watch the baby. They've got that one in there. The hose is down to here. We're putting the T here because, like I said, water's not going that way. It's going to T and go that way and that way. So, yeah. Gonna put the clamps on first.
I got one in my hand.
Okay.
Problem is, this stuff is so... Is that rubber mallet still out here?
Yep.
And that's how it's supposed to be. I think this is going to be too long.
Pull that.
Yep. So this hole was dug a little bit too deep. If we didn't backfill and we didn't fill back in first, the hydrant would only be at the level of right here. Like, it wouldn't be above ground at all. So we're gonna have to, I think we're gonna rake some of this dirt off of the grass right here in, and then probably shovel some of this in, and then we'll put down the pea gravel, and then we'll put down the hydrant. Splash. Hey guys, so we've got the hydrant over here by the pig pen. We've got some gravel around it. We're not going to backfill here yet because we want to pressurize everything and make sure nothing's leaking. We've added a few inches of dirt along here to protect the water line, and then we're going to backfill with the tractor. So again, not going to bury here so that if it's pressurized and there's a leak there, we can fix that. We've got Josh and Jonah doing the same thing over there, backfilling. Grace was backfilling. She's just taking a rake over to my dad and Jacob. And you can see we've got the line run all the way along here. This rooster's not sure what he wants to do. Come on, no, go back behind me. There you go. So we're running the pipe all the way over here to where the next hydrant is going to be. The excavator operator dug this deeper, and it looks like he dug it a little bit too deep again. So Jacob's been backfilling. We're going to measure this out and then put some gravel down, and then we'll do the same thing. We'll probably tie the hydrant to a 2x4 in order to keep it upright. And then I don't know that we're going to get to that section today because it's still really full of water. So, I don't know, I'm gonna see if I can turn this around and show you where, see if I can hold this steady enough to then zoom in and show you where the hose is draining over there. This section right along here still has water in it, obviously, so we're trying to drain that out. Jacob and my dad said right down over there where we're going to put the next hydrant, because it was wet, it's like quicksand. Even when they put dirt in on top, it just kind of squished out from underneath and went underneath. There's some sections over here where it fell in. I think I showed you that we're gonna have to dig out by hand. Also, it's still wet over there. There's like pockets of wetness, so we're probably gonna have to try to take the pump, pull it out, and put it in those separate sections and get the 5 to 10 to 20 gallons of water out, so that we can then walk in there without getting, you know, stuck up to our knees in mud. Well, that hydrant is not in use, and the new hydrant there is not in use, and the new hydrant that we're going to put right there is not in use. We're probably going to have to get water for these guys and for the goats and cow and maybe even the pigs, depending on how long we're without a hydrant there. We have a hose on the opposite corner right there of the barn, so we'll probably have to use that, which will be fine. We can use that, no problem. Okay guys, I filled in a little bit more with the tractor, didn't get the camera out. I was tired, we had just eaten dinner and I was ready to be done. So I figured I'd come out and show you quick. This section right here, we just filled in with the tractor. We haven't smoothed it out or anything, but it's, you know, now a low pile instead of a high pile. So we'll need to smooth this out a little bit in order to lay down the electric. But hopefully with the pickaxe grub hoe we can get this smoothed out, kind of walk in on it, and then tomorrow my dad's coming back and hopefully we can get this hydrant in right here, and then we've got another hydrant that we're gonna, like I said, get in down the high tunnel. If we can get those two in and connected, even if we don't get them backfilled, and we can turn on the water to make sure that there's no leaks, then we can start to backfill all the way. We can start to run the electric. We don't want to get our, you know, the cart before the horse and start burying stuff and have there be a leak and then have to dig stuff out. That wouldn't be so much fun. So that's it for tonight.